as you can see, being a part of the Solar Kings is a really great thing, right? We have a lot of opportunities for you to make income, not only with solar, with the credit department now coming up, and then also the roofing. So that's why we do this. We do this to help you grow in your business, to help you gain income. I mean, we're all in this together, right? Powur says it themselves. They're not perfect, but they're going to do everything they can to make it the best possible opportunity out there. So I'm really excited about that. And we bring in valuable people like Dylan and Christian, to help you with more opportunities, more opportunities. So let's go ahead and bring up our next guest. You're good? All right, all right. Our next guest, you're going to want to take a lot of notes. I'll tell you that much. You're going to want to take a lot of notes or record this gentleman because he's got a lot of great information, especially for you that are new in here. He's going to be going over Solar 101. I know a lot of you took this Tier 1 certification, but I also know that we can rush through that thing, just to kind of get it over with. I get it. I've been there. But now we're going to get some really great in-depth training from one of our top mentors on the Solar Kings. His background is in finance and selling vehicles as well. And he's just become a really great friend to my family. Please give it up for Mr. Huston O'Connor.
All right, guys. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it. Let's see, we'll just turn this one off. There you go. All right, so let's get it pulled up here. First of all, how's everybody doing today? I don't know that we've asked that yet. We kind of got a little bit of a late start today, so let's get in here. All right. I'm going to be going over Solar 101. For those of you who are newer on the platform, maybe just getting into solar, this will be a great way to kind of review the basics and review what your responsibility is when you first join the platform. So, what do I do here? Only works when you push the right buttons, right? Okay, there we go. So to getting into it, first off, why solar? We're all here. We've all gotten into the solar business, or we're thinking about getting into the solar business. So why is it a good opportunity? Let's talk a little bit about that. And the real question is, why not? We've talked a lot already today about rising energy prices, rising, interest rates. Everything's going up, right? You go to the store and what used to cost you $5 is now costing $8. You go to the gas station and it was $2 2 years ago. Now it's $4.50. It's just getting crazy, and it's no different in the energy space. CPS has gone up on their rates. Other parts of Texas have seen rate increases up to 70% in some parts of the state. Hell, if you go out to California and try and get energy for your home, there are parts of the day where you're paying almost 50 cents per kilowatt hour. It's insane, and the opportunity to change that is in solar. So you can control your energy costs, you add value to your home. There is obviously the green aspect of it. You are able to make a difference in the world. You're getting away from utilizing fossil fuels and dirty energy and switching over to clean, renewable energy. And then, obviously, there's huge credits, rebates, incentives that are available. The recent bill that was passed in Congress increased the federal tax credit back up to 30%, extended it for another 10 years. So we've got a great window of opportunity to take our customers and show them how to make money by adding solar to their home. How does solar work? So this is a question we get a lot. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I just put the solar panels on the roof and they power my house, right? Well, yes, but there's a lot of components that go into that. And so the way I describe it is during the day when the sun's shining on those panels, the panels produce what they call direct current energy. Now, our homes use alternating current in order to run the home. So the first function that has to happen, that direct current has to pass through what we call an inverter. There's a couple different types of inverters that are available on the market. But the key to understand there is that it's converting that DC energy to AC so that our home can use that. From there, the inverter sends that energy into our house. Our house uses what it needs and then sends the excess energy back to the utility grid, typically in the form of a credit. Now at night or on a cloudy day when your solar system is not able to keep up with your home's needs, you're then buying your energy back from the utility company. How does that look at the end of the month? Most utility companies, and this is really a key component to what makes solar successful, is a program called net metering. And net metering, if you look at this graph here, this graph kind of illustrates what's happening throughout the day with your solar system's production. So the black line here is how much your solar system is producing. The blue line is how much your home is using throughout the day. So when we design a solar system, we want to design it to where it's producing more during the daytime hours than your home's need, so that you're selling back for credits. And that's what you see here in the orange space. Those are the credits that you're racking up throughout the day. And then at night, when your solar system stops producing energy, but your home's still using energy, right? Sun doesn't go down and AC shuts off, we turn all the lights off, right? We're still using energy. And so when that happens, this blue space here, we're then buying back from the utility company. And what net metering does, it takes the difference between the blue space and the orange space, and that's what they charge you at the end of the month. So blue minus orange is your net consumption, and then what your utility company charges you is net consumption times their price per kilowatt hour for the total energy charge. So very, very simple process, but very important when it comes to solar. Not all energy companies offer net metering, and some, particularly in Texas, don't do a full one-to-one credit. So that's something that you need to be aware of and you need to understand when you're building your proposal, because it may affect how you build out your proposal. So let's look at how to read a utility bill. So this is a CPS bill. Over here on the left, you're going to see when you ask your customer for a utility bill, the main thing we're looking for is that chart right there. And what that chart's going to do, it's going to tell us what their historical usage has been over the last 12 months on that home. And when we build our system, the idea is to design a system that covers that usage. Now we're going to ask some additional questions and get a little bit more information from them as far as whether maybe something's going to change that will affect that production. You know, maybe they're going to buy an EV or add a pool. We're going to need to account for that when we build out our solar system. Next thing we're going to look at over here, so this is page 2 of a CPS bill. If you ever look at your CPS bill, you got page 1 over here. Page 2 gives you kind of the full breakdown of the costs and fees. First thing you're going to notice is this one thing that everybody pays, whether they have solar or not, and that's the service availability charge. Here in CPS, it's $9.10. That gets charged to every CPS customer every month just to be connected to the grid. The next thing you're going to look at is your consumption meter. So just so you guys are aware, this is actually my CPS bill from last month. So I do have solar, so we're going to look at what it looks like with solar. So if you're looking at a bill pre-solar, you're only going to have a consumption meter, which is that top line there. So last month, my home purchased from the grid 1,306 kilowatt hours. The next line, the one here, if you have solar already, is going to be how many kilowatt hours did I sell back to the grid? And last month, on top of what my home used during daylight hours, I sold 892 kilowatt hours. So CPS does do one-to-one net metering. So they're doing a simple calculation. 1,306 minus 892 equals net consumption of 404 kilowatt hours. That's what they're going to bill me for. So I take that number, I roll it back up here. CPS has 3 different types of charges. So they've got your energy charge, which they charge me 414 kilowatt hours times 7 cents and some change. Then they charge me a fuel adjustment charge and a regulatory adjustment charge. So all in, my service availability plus all those charges, my bill last month would have been $60. Fortunately, I actually had a credit from my my security deposit from a few months back. So My balance was actually negative $220 last month. I haven't paid CPS since November. So I still got a couple more months before that's even going to have to. It probably won't be until the end of next summer that I'll use up the rest of those credits from the security deposit. So if you've got someone with a new home and they paid that security deposit when they bought the house, that's something to tell them to look forward to. Hey, remember when you paid them that $200 security deposit? When they give that back to you, you're not going to pay them for months. So moving on, what's your role as a Tier 1 consultant? So when you first join the Powur platform, whether you've been a solar pro in the past, or maybe like myself, you've never looked at solar before. You know, my background was in the car business. I was in the car business for 14 years and decided to make a kind of an abrupt change due to some life situations. I jumped into solar thinking it was just going to be a part-time gig, but started out as a Tier 1 consultant and decided to learn. And we give you a really, really simple and effective way to learn how to sell solar on the platform. So we tell all of our Tier 1 consultants, when you first start, you have one job. Get it, submit it, and tag it. All you have to think about, and then lean on your mentor for the rest of the stuff, right? Let's start with get it. What are we trying to get? Utility bill, right? So what did we just talk about? What's the most important thing when we're designing a solar system? How much that home is using in energy. So there's a number of things we need on this utility bill. Obviously, the address is great to have. Kind of need to know where we're working, right? The usage is the main thing, although even on a new home, there are ways that we can calculate that estimated usage if it's not available to us. We also need the customer account information, because when we're making the application to CPS to connect to the grid, we need to tell them which customer is applying. So all of that's important, and that's the reason that Powur requires a utility bill with every one of their contracts. How do we get a utility bill? So I always recommend the easiest and smartest way to do it when you're first starting out is to leverage what I call your warm market. These are people that you already know. These are, family and friends, people, that are coming in to work on your home, whether it be a pest control guy or maybe the ADT guy or people along those lines, people that work in similar career, maybe people in your office, people that you network with, other networking organizations, social media accounts. All of these are great ways to leverage your existing network to bring out referrals. Tell you a quick story about how I got my first contract. So technically my first contract was my own house, because I signed up with Powur, and then within a week I signed the contract for my own home. And then I leveraged that. So I took that contract, I printed it out. It's all DocuSign, so I didn't have a printed copy, but I printed it out, and then I posted a 1-minute video on Facebook talking about the fact that I had just signed a contract for solar. I was getting into the solar business, and I wanted to try and help my Facebook friends as well. Ended up getting a guy that I knew from the car business. He owns a small car lot on the south side of town. He contacted me and said, "Hey, Houston, I saw your post on Facebook. I'm interested. Tell me more." So I got him to send me a copy of his utility bill, put it into the system, tagged a mentor, let the mentor take over from there. Just so happened that this guy's primary language was Spanish. So I found Gus Velasquez, who's one of our great mentors on the team, and he helped me with that Spanish deal to close that deal. But it's that simple. Leverage your warm market to start out. One thing that I'll tell you, between my partner C-Ray and I, within the business, we started out by spending a lot of money on social media thinking that we were going to generate leads that way. Didn't work. We dumped thousands of dollars into marketing only to realize that what we thought was a lot of money was chump change compared to the big dogs that are spending, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on marketing. We just weren't able to access the market. So what have we gone to? We've gone to this. It's all networking, network-based marketing, B&I, things of that nature in order to get the word out and get our name out. It's a long-term play because it's something you got to stay consistent with. Eric and I say all the time, don't be a I'm blanking on what we say. So don't be a secret agent, right? Don't be a secret agent. You got to let people know what you do. If you don't tell people what you do, they're not going to come to you, right? So once you get someone who says they're interested, Powur has provided a very simple script to go through to kind of walk them through the process. So you're going to start out in phase one, spark some interest, having a conversation with somebody. Hey, you ever noticed that CPS, how are you feeling about CPS raising their rates recently? I know me personally, I used to pay about $150 a month. Man, my bill last month was $300. It's crazy. Very conversational, simple. Who's going to say, you know what? No, I'm good with what CPS is doing. I don't mind higher rates. No, right? They're all going to be like, you're going to find pain right there, then and there. From there, you're going to move on to why are you asking? And it could be something simple as, well, you know what? I know I've kind of been looking into solar. Have you ever looked into it before? Or what are your thoughts about solar? Is that something you've ever considered? Again, keep it conversational. This isn't a sales pitch. We're not trying to close them right now. We're just trying to get them interested. So from there, once your conversation continues, you're going to move on to get into dialogue. And with the dialogue, it's very simple. This is what the Powur script says. My script is a little bit different. What I typically say, especially if you're brand new on the platform, I love saying this. And it's simply, hey, I just started working with a guy who really knows a lot about solar, and I'm just getting into the space. I'm trying to kind of see if it's a good opportunity for me. Would you be willing to give me a copy of your utility bill so that I could pass it to him and have him help me learn? Because now, again, this is someone who's in your warm network, right? It's a friend, it's a family member. Who's going to tell you no at that point? No, man, I don't want to help you with your business. Forget you. Of course not, right? They're going to be like, yeah, cool. No problem. Doesn't cost me anything. It's free. And he might be able to help me save money. All right, cool. I'm in. Simple as that. From there, get everything you need and set up a call. So who knows what you need in order to put a lead into the Powur platform? There's 3 things you need to get from the client. Well, 4 technically, but 3 things. Tell me the 3 things you need in order to get a lead into the Powur platform. Email. Phone number. Address. That was the 4th one. The bill. Bill. Those are the 3. You need an email address, you need a phone number, and you need an electric bill. I said technically number 4 is the address because what's on that electric bill? The name's on the bill, the address is on the bill. So if I got that, I already got all those. I just need a name and number. Simple, right? And then schedule a quick call. Say, hey, you know what? Let me get with my mentor and see what times he has available. What times typically work for you? Get a couple times and then get with your mentor and schedule one of those time slots for a quick call. It's a discovery call. It's not a sales pitch. The mentor is going to jump on the phone, go through a 5 or 10 minute conversation with the client to get a little bit more information about them. And then we're going to build out the proposal. So from there, we've got everything we need. What's the next step? We got to get it in the platform, right? We got it. Now we got to submit it. So submit it. Here's what you need to do. So in your Powur back office, you're going to go to projects, and then you're going to click on leads, and then add lead. And as soon as you do that, this little deal will pop up on the right-hand side. You're simply going to fill out all that information, upload the utility bill, and then create lead. The lead's created. Now it's going to pull up. It's going to have a picture of the Google Maps image showing their house with a little pin on it. From there, you're going to verify that the pin is in the correct location. Take a look at it real quickly. I mean, if you can't even see the house because it's got too many trees on it, we really can't qualify that lead, right? Not a qualified lead if there's no roof space to work with. But as long as you've got a roof that's eligible, qualify lead. We're done submitting it. What's the 3rd phase? We got to tag it, right? To tag it is very simple. on your project summary page, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of that, and you're going to see this section right here where it says Project People. You see here, that's my name as the seller, and then there's no mentor assigned to this project. I got to add a mentor, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to that button right there, and I'm going to click Add Mentor. From there, it's going to pop up with this little box. You got two choices. You can either A, select your own, click Search Now, and type Huston O'Connor, and we're good to go. I'm kidding. We got a lot of great mentors on the platform. Or you can go Powur. Or you can do Powur Pairing. And the Powur Pairing is pretty cool. What it's going to do, it uses an algorithm-based formula and 4 or 5 questions that you answer as far as whether you want to do an in-person or virtual, time of day, stuff like that. And it's going to go through and look at the numbers and the closing stats of all the mentors on the Powur platform and suggest 3 mentors that would be a good fit based off of your answers. And from there, select the mentor that works the best. Like I said, the easiest one is go select now, Huston O'Connor, we're good, I'm kidding. And pick your mentor. From there, contact your mentor, let them know, hey, I just tagged you on a deal. When can we set up a quick call to talk about it? I always like to do a quick 5-minute phone call with the mentee alone so that they can kind of fill me in. Who is this person? How do you know them? How did you get the bill? Do that real quickly and then schedule the discovery call with the client. From there, you kind of sit back, relax, and wait for your $3,500 to come in because the mentor is pretty much going to do the rest, right? We're going to work together. We're going to teach you how to build out the proposal. We're going to help you schedule the appointment with the client. We're going to present the deal. We're going to close the deal. We're going to get all the paperwork signed. And through every step of that process, we're going to show you what we're doing so that down the road, once you become a tier 2, you can do it on your own, right? So once you've got a contract, we've gone through all of that. Customer says yes, we close the deal. What's our next steps in the process? So there's 6 stages in the Powur platform. Once you have a signed contract, step 1 is your site survey. There's 2 ways you can do a site survey. Who here's done a virtual site survey? Virtual site survey is the quickest and easiest way to get your site survey done. If you're doing an in-home presentation, whether I close the deal or not, I do the virtual site survey before I leave. And the reason I do that, when they see me doing that site survey, they're already mentally taking ownership of it. Plus, if they call me the next day and they tell me yes, what do I not have to do? I don't have to drive back to their house and do it again, right? It's already done. So very, very simple. It'll save you a lot of time, and it also adds an extra $100 to your commission at the end of the day. If you're doing a virtual presentation or you're not able to do the virtual site survey for whatever reason, you actually can have the client do it if that's possible. But if not, then Powur will assign out the site survey to a site surveyor, and they'll go out and get it done over the next week or 2 after the contract's signed. Once that's done, it immediately goes into design. Design typically takes a week to 2 weeks, where they're going to do the full CAD design, get everything done. They're going to optimize the system based off of direction of the panels and the equipment. Once that's done, one thing I always tell my client, keep an eye out for an email, because they send that to the client and wait for the client to say yes. They won't move forward with permitting until the client has approved that design. So make sure your customer is aware they will be getting an email with the design. They need to reply to that and say, yes, that looks good, go ahead and move forward. As soon as they get that, we put it into permitting. We all know around CPS, that's the hurry up and wait stage of the process, right? So that all happens within a couple weeks. We submit it to CPS. Now we got to wait 6 to 8 weeks for approval. Once we get that approval, we go into installation. How long does typical installation for solar only take? Typically 1 day, right? Unless it's just a massive system. 1 to 2 days typically is what you're going to see for the total installation. Once it's installed, you're going to have to come back out. They're going to come back out for an inspection, CPS, final approval, and then last but not least is your permission to operate, which is when you actually get to power the system on and switch your customer over to clean energy. So that's kind of the process in a nutshell. if you're a tier 1 consultant, you have one job. Get it, submit it, tag it. That's all you need to do. And if you really want to learn and continue to grow to become a tier 2 or a tier 3 seller on the platform, the next stages from there are to get into the Powur University and learn. There's a lot of resources available, starting out with university.powur.com. Everybody's gone through the university platform to complete your tier 1 training, but did you know they also have a number of other trainings? Roofing certification, tier 2 certification. You don't have to do your third deal in order to start working on that tier 2 certification. Now, you do have to pass that before you can become a tier 2. So I would recommend start working on that as soon as you're a tier 1, because you'll already have the knowledge and have it done by the time you've completed that third deal. You also have access to help.powur.com. We all know that as the knowledge base. That's got a lot of specific information depending on what you're looking for. So as I was preparing this training, you know what I did? I went into knowledge base. I searched tier 1, and it came up with this: tier 1 quick links. It was 3 pages worth of information, training, links. What's it called? The script that we looked at a minute ago. Guess where I found that? Knowledge base, tier 1 training. It's all in there. Powercalendar.com, access your live events, get ideas of when other trainings are going to be held. PowerHour.com, this is a great way, especially if you're recruiting. Invite your recruits to the Powur Hour. Every Monday night, get them there. Let the guys who are the pros present the platform to your recruits. Let them do it. And then finally, PowerOutlet.com. It's a great source of marketing materials. They've got all kinds of stuff in there. Shirts. They've got all the print stuff that we looked at earlier. There's all kinds of stuff available there. So as you're getting started, keep it simple. Get it, submit it, tag it, and then start learning from there. That's all I have, guys. If you want to scan that QR code, that's my contact information. Scan that, save my contact, and we're good to go. So I appreciate all your time.
Thank you, sir. Did a great job. Let's give it one more time for Houston. One more time. Thank you, Houston. I think it's his password. I think it's Jake's up in the password. Who learned something right now? Raise your hand. Who learned something? All right. Good. Good, good. Philip, what did you learn?
Multiple things. Some things I wasn't asking. Things I wasn't asking people, like about, are you planning to add something to your house, like electrical vehicle, those kind of just discovery questions, things like that. And then just about training, other things I didn't know. Awesome. I didn't know I could do tier 2 already. So.
Oh yeah.
Let's start that.
Good. Good. How about you, Seth?
I learned kind of like the whole process. I mean, it was my day 1, so it was a really good introduction.
All right. Thank you. How you doing? Good to see you. Nice meeting you too. Thank you for coming. That's okay. I'm glad you're here.